Okay, hello there, integrated algebra students. Mr. Zacek here. We're continuing our unit on statistics, and today we're on to 13.3 box and whisker plots with percentiles. So I'm going to jump around a little bit in your notes packet just because I want to kind of do a couple of things together. But then we're going to look at this. The first thing I want to look at is the box and whisker plot. Now, when you are making a box and whisker plot, all right, let me see if I got some space up here. It looks like they have this kind of appearance to them, and the value down here is called the minimum value, and the value up here is the maximum. And then this number represents what's called the first quartile. This is the second quartile, and this is the third quartile. Now, quartile is like the word quarter, which separates things into 25%. So what this means is that when you're looking at data points, 25% of the scores are going to come here, 25% of the scores are going to be here, 25% of the scores are going to be here, and 25% of the scores are going to be here. And the reason why we would plot data like this is it kind of lets us look at how is our data distributed. Maybe we might have a really tight range in the third quartile. So we want to just, be able to look at that. So let's get into the how of we can construct that, because that's one of the things that you need to know. So the test scores on Mrs. O'Mara's last math test are listed below. Use this data to make a box and whisker plot. All right. The first thing that you need to do is you need to list the data points in order from the smallest value to the largest value. So this is something that, can sometimes screw people up because it's a detail thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just write these down for the sake of time. I'm not going to kind of go through, crossing them all off just for time's sake. I already did this, and so, but as you're doing it, you just want to really pay careful attention to these as you go, so you make sure that you get all of them. Okay, we got to write. I can't write too big or I'm going to run out of room here on the other side. So we got 1, 2, 3 85s, and then we have 89, 90, 92, 94, 98, 99, and 3 100s. So as you're going through, you're going to cross them out. Just one of the tips as you're crossing it out, don't make your line too thick where you can't read the number, because if you make a mistake, you're going to want to go back and check it. So one of the things that I do just as a check is I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I've got 24 scores in my original, so I want to make sure that I have 24 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Now, the first thing that we're going to look for here is we want to find the median. All right. Now, we know the median is in the middle. So if we have 24 scores, half of 24 is 12. So that means I need to go in 12 from each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, when I come in 12 from this side, I get to 84. 1, 2, from the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here I get 85. That means our median is going to be in the middle of those numbers. They're going to be averaged together, which is going to be 84.5. Okay, this is our median. Let me use a different color here just to show where that is. Now, the median on your box and whisker is the second quartile. So that's your median. So we're going to have that part. Now, the way we find the first quartile is we take the median of the lower half. So on the lower half here, I'm just going to draw a line across the top of it. How many scores do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now 84.5 is the median. That's not included in your 84. So you have 12 scores. 12 divided by 2, half of 12 is 6. So I got to come in 6 from each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets me to 77. Come from the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets me to 78. When you have 2, you average those together, and the average is going to be 77.5. That's your first quartile. It's the median of the lower half. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the upper half. But I know there's 12 because I counted that out last time. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 92. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 94. When you have 2 of them, it's in the middle. So 92 and 94 average is going to be 93. This is our third quartile. Okay. So now we need to go about doing our box and whisker plot. I'm going to use this line down here as a way of doing that. And I'm just going to mark mine out here. I got 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. Okay. Now, I started at, now I want to mark my 5 data points. So this is the minimum. Okay. 100 is the maximum. So our 5 data points. So I'm going to put a plot at 52. There's one. My first quartile, 77.5, 72, 74, 76, close to 78. I'm going to mark that's my first quartile. Our median, 84.5, 82, 84, close to 80, close to 84 there. Our third quartile, 93, so 92, that's going to be between 92 and 94. And our maximum, which is 100. So those are our 5 data points. Now, using straight edge, I'm going to connect here. I'm going to draw the whiskers. And then we're going to draw our box. So at the first and third quartile and down through the median. I don't quite like how my median is drawn here. I'm going to change that just a little bit. Okay. Here. Okay. So again, this is your minimum. This is your maximum. Here's our first quartile. Here's our median or second quartile. And here is our third quartile. So 25% of the scores in the low range, 25% between the first and the median, 25% in that median in the third quartile, and in the fourth quartile, we've got in that last whisker part of it. All right, so that's how we draw a box and whisker plot. So I want to do another one of those now. I want to go to jump a couple pages here on your notes to number 8, because I just want to give you another little practice for that. Okay, So we're just going to change this a little bit. All we're going to do is we're just going to draw a box and whisker plot. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to look at my data. Is it in order from least to greatest? And in this case, it is. So let's see how many data points we've got. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hang on, I got to count over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Now, some people, the way that they count off is to get the median is they go 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 7, 7, 8 and 8. Here we are. 77 is the median. Now, because you have an exact value, you're not going to include 77 in your lower half. So here's our lower half, here's our upper half. And let's count those out again. Okay, on the lower half, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4. Now you see you have both of those there. So the first quartile is going to be between 63 and 65. It's going to be 64 is your first quartile. So let's try this in the top. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4. Here we are again, we've got 2. That means you're going to be in the middle of those two, or the average, which is 79. That's your third quartile. Okay, now we're going to draw the box and whisker plot. Now that we've got our 5 data points, we draw our line out, and I'm going to use kind of a similar scale because my minimum value is 54 and my maximum value is 91. So I want to go from 50 to 100. So I'm going to go, all right, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 2, 4, 6, 8, 70, 2, 4, 6, 8, 80, 2, 4, 6, 8, 90, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. You know, feel free to use a ruler as you're measuring those out. You know, the more accurate you can be, the better you're going to be able to use it as a tool here. So we want to plot your 5 points. So the minimum is at 54. Now our first quartile is at 64. Okay, so there's 60, 62, 64. Our median is 77, 72, 74, 76. It's going to be halfway in between. And our third quartile is at 79. Wow, that's really close. So that means a lot of those scores were right in that range. And then our highest one is going to be 91. So plot your 5 points, draw in your whiskers, and then make your box. So as you do this here, here's your minimum, here's your maximum, here's your first quartile. Now sometimes you'll see this called the 25th percentile. This is the median, also known as the second quartile, or the 50th percentile. Getting a lot of writing here. So the second quartile, that means 50% of the grades are lower, okay? And then the last one is the third quartile, or the 75th percentile. Okay, which means 75% of the scores are less than that, 75% or 25% of the scores are above that. All right, now there is a way you can do these box and whisker plots on your graphing calculator, and if you want to see about that, go ahead and ask us that, okay, in class. But the next part that I want to talk about today is how do we determine percentile, okay? And here's the definition of what a percentile is. And you have a percentile is a number that tells us what percent of the total number of data values lies at or below a given measure. Now, a great example of where you see this often is when you do um, some kind of standardized test. For example, the SAT. Many of you will take the SATs as part of your college entrance, and it might say that you score in the 85th percentile. That means that you were on the high end. That means only 15% of students scored more than you. So if 100 people took the test, 85 were at or below, and only 15 people would have been above that. So let's look at how we can actually calculate that. And here's a question. Let us consider the set of data values representing the heights of 20 students. What is the percentile rank of 65? So here's the steps. Separate the data into the values that are less than or equal to 65 and those that are greater than or equal to 65. Now you'll notice here that 65 has 4 65s. So because there's 4, 2 are going to go in the lower half. We're gonna split it right there. So we want to split it in the middle. Okay, you always want to go in the middle. So the middle of the 65s is 2 below, 2 up. Now how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 20. You divide it out, and you get 0.35, which is 35%. So you scored at 65, whatever it is, inches, it would be the 35th, 35%, or the 35th percentile is another way. Okay, now this is an important thing to know, and we'll look at some of these examples. Since there were 465, you would include 2 values in the lower group and 2 values in the upper group. If there is only one value, put a line through the number and include 0.5 in the lower and upper group. I'm going to add to that, or an odd number. So if there's 3, we're going to have a half as well. Okay, so let's look down here. Find the percentile rank of 87 in the following set of 30 marks. All right, so let's find our 87. Okay, here they are down here. We've got 1, 2, 3 87s. So we're going to split the 87 in half, and we're going to put half of it in the bottom and half in the top. So now we go ahead and we count how many are below 87. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 and a half. So this is going to be 22.5 divided by the total, which is 30. We get that as a decimal, 0.75. You convert that to a percentage by multiplying by 100 or moving the decimal point 2 places, and we get 75%. So a rank of 87 scored in the 75th percentile. That's how you would say that. Okay, let's try a couple more. All right, the number of runs scored by a softball team in 19 games are given. Find the percentile rank of 12. Okay, so again, here's our 12s. This is an even number, so we split it in the middle. How many do we have that are in the bottom part of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 out of 19. Divide that out. You're going to get 8, 9, 4, 7, which is going to equal 89.47%. Okay. Now you may want to push pause and try number 2 on your own here. Okay, welcome back. Here's how you do this. You look at your 14s. You got an odd number, so you got to split it down the middle. How many do you have below that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. So 7.5 out of 14 divides to be 0.5357. Move the decimal point 2 places. 53.57%. Okay, so those 3 are examples of how you find a percentile rank. Now we just have one more type of question. It's like number 5 down here. On a quiz taken by 24 students, the 75th percentile, or the upper quartile, was 84. How many students scored higher than 84? All right, so if we think about our box and whisker plot, okay, I'm just gonna, something like this, okay? Here's the max grade. Here's the 75th percentile, or the 3rd quartile, or obviously it's going to also be called the upper quartile. Now remember, here's what we're saying. 25% are in this range, 25% are in this range, 25% are in this range, and 25% are in this range. So they want to know how many students scored higher than 84. They're saying, how many students were in this range? Well, we know that 24 took the test, so we need to find what is 25% of 24. That's what we're going to be looking for. Well, how do we do that? Well, convert the decimal to a percentage, or convert the percent to a decimal, excuse me. 0.25 times 24 means 6 students, okay, scored there. And if we think about this, okay, you're going to have 6 students in this range, 6 students in this range, 6 students in this range, and 6 students in this range. So if the question had been below, how many were below the 75th percentile, you would have added those together and you would have got 18 students. Okay, so this was the higher is 6 students, which is what we're looking for. But I just want to show you that other part. Okay, so it's a little kind of variation of that. And here's another one like that. 9 students scored 75 or less on a mathematics test. If 75 is the 25th percentile, the lower quartile, what is the number of students who took the test? So let's try this out. Let's draw kind of box and whisker just to help our understanding of what these things mean. Okay. 9 students scored 75 or less. If the 75 is the 25th percentile, that's right here, the 25th. We're saying 9 students scored here. Well, if 9 were in that region, 9 had to be in this one, 9 had to be in this one, and 9 had to be in this one. What is the number of students who took the test? Now we just add all of those up. Okay, so number of students is going to be 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, which would be 36 students. Okay, so that is our work on percentiles and box and whisker plots. And please take a minute and ask us how you can go about doing the box and whisker plots on the graphing calculator. We want to show you that. All right, good luck. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.